In today's video, I'm going to quickly explain to you the brand new perk system that we've gotten added inside of DMZ. Now, this new perk system is going to essentially allow you to hop into DMZ every few matches and have a certain perk from the ones that already exist inside of the game, which obviously will make your experience that bit easier, especially going up against the AI. So the first thing that you might see when you go inside of DMZ is a little new prompt in the top left corner. It should say current exfil streak, and it'll tell you to press whatever your keybind is to activate that little menu. Once you're in it, it'll say current exfil streak, and then you should see a selection of 10 different question marks, which essentially will be the perks themselves. Now, the way you unlock these perks is by completing a contract and then exfilling after completing that contract and doing whatever you want to do inside of DMZ. If you don't know what contracts are, they're essentially those like phone things you find around the map inside of Al Mazrah, and just completing them, sometimes they're super easy. For example, the one that I would really recommend for you to do if you want to gather these perks is either the radioactive one or the laptop one. Those just seem the easiest because there's less of trying to drive to a location where there's a bunch of AI or any other situation. The nuclear one is probably the easiest. That one just requires you to walk around and try to find a location where there's radioactive stuff, grab everything out of the chest, and you should be able to complete that one super easy. And then exfilling, which obviously isn't the easiest thing. The best tips and tricks, I've already made a video on this, but I'm gonna quickly explain it to you. The best way to exfil is essentially just try to be as cautious as possible, which is, you know, like, oh duh, but also going to specific locations where there are buildings. Never exfil in a super open area, and also potentially having a vehicle with you is a good idea because this will essentially allow you to run over any AI or players that decide to come around, because vehicles do end up one-shotting, I'm pretty sure players as well, but definitely AI. But the way I always go about exfilling is activating it, running inside of a building, hiding until the chopper has landed or is at least super close to landing. You have 30 seconds to get on and you should be able to exfil. Now, another interesting thing to quickly mention before we move on is that building 21 exfils always count. This means that I don't think you'll have to complete any contracts in there. As of the time that I'm making this video, we have no idea how building 21 works. I already covered a video on how to get the specific key card whenever it gets activated. Infinity Ward is very cryptic with how this will work. We don't know if we have to, as a community, activate something or if it'll just be a certain time in the day when building 21 will be accessible. But whenever we do know, and if you already know how to get into building 21 as the time that this video goes up or whenever you're watching it, building 21's exfil will always count. Now, whenever you do exfil by completing that certain contract, you will be receiving that free perk and also an exfil streak. Now, the way this works is you basically continuously have to exfil successfully by completing contracts to earn more and more of these perks. And something that I did to test this out after exfilling a ridiculous amount of times was to see if I get punished and get all of these perks removed if I fail my streak. And yes you do. So if you perhaps end up dying after, let's say, being on a 9 streak, having, you know, some pretty solid perks, you don't get to choose which perks because they're all random, you will unfortunately lose all of your progress. Now, this does suck, but in many ways, in my opinion, this does open up the whole replayability of DMZ, something that I've been really like, I already really want to play DMZ, but getting more additional stuff inside of the game, big changes like this, which is a pretty big one because we're getting perks, like they're gonna be, you know, benefiting you a lot inside of the game, is a really positive thing. And I'm excited to see what else we're gonna see in like season 2 reloaded, so on and so forth. We're also supposedly going to be getting a weather cycle from what Charlie Intel did say from a special conversation they had with Activision and Infinity Ward, so that is really exciting. And DMZ is just going to be shaping more and more to becoming a better mode since, well, it is in beta. Hopefully this video did explain to you the exfil and exfil streaks and how that all works and the punishment you get if you unfortunately don't get the exfil multiple times in a row. If you get all 10 of them, you fail, all 10 go away and you have to restart getting random perks. So that's the only bad thing I'll say about that. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe. We're on the road hitting 40,000 subscribers and we just hit 38k, so thank you so much for that. Do you think we'll be able to reach 40,000 before the end of the year? If you're new here, I guess you're the only one that can make that happen. That was extremely cringe. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to subscribe, like, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace out.